All right, we're at the 2010 PAC-KOTESOL conference, speaking with Rocky Nelson. Hey, Rocky.
Hello. Hello, Jeff.
Now, in just about an hour, you're going to be speaking with Dr. Paul Nation, who gave the plenary presentation this morning. How was the plenary session?
Excellent. Dr. Nation is always a very personable and very lucid speaker. I love the way he's so logical. He presents things in a format that even foreign language learners can understand him well.
For those who don't know Paul Nation, what is he known for?
Dr. Nation is the grand old man of English language research, particularly through the acquisition of vocabulary. He also advocates explicit teaching of vocabulary and the use of extensive reading for learning the first 2,000 words that are part of a general service list of frequency. It's a frequency list of the most used words in the English language.
All right. Now, Rocky happens to be a coworker of mine, so I know a bit about the answer to this question. But you can tell us a little bit about your English teaching path. When you first started teaching, what attracted your attention? What has become your teaching passion?
When I was taking my master's degree, I was introduced to language learning theories, and Dr. Stephen Krashen's, of course, was predominant in the language in the master's course. What struck me at the time that there must be a way to teach language and combine it with fun, a fun way to learn. So I spent all of my formative years trying games and anything that would get away from these 4 skills textbooks. Read the passage, listen to the tape, repeat it. The really boring things. Okay, I started out using them when I first came to Korea, and I was bored to tears, and I knew my students were also. So I was always trying to find motivational ways of teaching. I just happened to go to a teachers conference in Busan, where I met Dr. Richard Day, who is the main advocate, or one of the most famous advocates, of extensive reading using graded readers. And it was like an epiphany. I'm a reader. I love to read. And here was a methodology that was very simple and very motivational. So I literally ran back to my university, and it just so happened that the director of our department had also attended the same conference. So this is Dr. Kim Chang-ho. I owe him a great thank you. Yeah. Okay, because he said, yes, we can find you some money. So I started out that semester with books that I had bought myself and scrounged. I took my students to a bookstore and had them all buy one graded reader. So we started out in a very small way, but the results in that very first class, that very first semester, were so astounding that I knew I was on the right track. And by the next semester, the library started buying some readers, and I started talking about extensive reading. I've been advocating it. I think I'm one of the very first in Korea, because many of the people that are leading this conference today, like Scott Miles, they were the ones that heard it from me first. Okay. So I am still doing extensive reading. I have limited English proficient learners in the College of Information Technology, using graded readers that are 400 words in basically a comic book. I have sophomores of the College of English who are reading the graded reader series, and I have quite a few classes. I've got 5 classes of teachers, elementary and secondary school teachers from the Busan area. There's 59 of them this session, and I'm teaching them the methodology. Just yesterday, I was in one of my classrooms, and the class reader looked up at me and said, "This is the best course we're taking during this teacher training program." So there's none other that are as interesting and fun. and that always makes me feel really
Yeah.
good.
And I'm a believer. I taught extensive reading for the first time last semester and was struck by how much the students enjoyed it, how much they felt like it was improving their language, and frankly how their test scores shot up. The EPER test, which is used to assess, what is exactly does the EPER test assess?
Well, it basically tests your receptive word, your ability, the words that you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not that tests are the ultimate measure, but for people who are considering doing something like this and getting objection, because there are objections a lot, because people will walk by your classroom and see everyone's reading a book, including the teacher, and saying, "You're not teaching."
What's he teaching? That's very true. When I first started out, some of the administration people, would kind of look askance at what I was doing because it was so different than the Japanese model that they had been taught with, okay? Where the teacher fronts the classroom and is the pedantic, person up front. I was going to say a different word. But, you can't grade something like that because every person is different. They all have different reading levels. As Stephen Krashen has pointed out, we all learn things at the point of need, okay? We all have different needs. You can't teach grammar because everybody knows something different. So I can't develop tests, and it does look like I am not teaching when I am.
And we should mention that there are also activities along the way. It's not just every class isn't just sit down, open your book, and read.
True. Doctrination is an advocate of having not only input but certain types of output. Okay, so that's what the activities are for, so that they can have meaning-focused output as well as meaning-focused input. So we will do things like the explicit study of vocabulary. Students find 6 words in their little graded reader they don't know, and fill out a little handout, with the definition, and then I put them in pairs and let them try to teach these words to each other. So they have meaning-focused input and meaning-focused output. Okay, and everybody hopefully learns a little bit of something. Over the years, I've discovered the vocabulary exercises are probably one of the most popular exercises we do in class. Actually, a true ER class doesn't have to have anything other than quietly sitting and reading. But other advocates like Doctrination says, you have to have a balanced approach.
And sometimes it's easier to sell the course that way if there's doubtful administration.
Exactly. My first administrators, I said, well, look, I'm supposed to be doing a conversation course, okay, with information technology guys. I would love just to sit there and let them read, but for the sake of output, I have to design little things they can do. What's really nice with extensive reading is it takes no preparation, or very little preparation.
As having taught one of those courses, I would have to agree.
The most valuable exercises are things like just setting people together in pairs or small groups and introduce the book they're reading. Describe it. Why did they like it? Why didn't they like it? Very valuable output, meaning-focused output, okay, but no preparation on my part at all.
All right. So what are you checking out at the conference? Anything you're especially looking forward to?
Well, Doctrination. Okay, that's the only reason I'm here.
Okay.
I just wanted to listen to him. I've got a lot of study involved in some of his research and whatnot. And actually, I haven't had any time to do anything else except get to a couple of his
And you'll be speaking with him in less than an hour. What are you looking forward to discussing with him?
Well, aside from having his expertise explain extensive reading and the general service list, he's been studying this for decades. He's spent his life in this research. And I'd like to find out about the early years of extensive reading and how it started, as well as finding out his career. How did he get started? Because he got a passion. Like I found a passion. He found an early passion, and he's pursued it for decades.
Which, whether it's extensive reading or whatever, having a passion as an educator really makes your day better, makes your job more satisfying, and ultimately makes you a better teacher, I think.
That's entirely true. That's entirely true. It's always occurred to me that the definition of genius is finding your passion earlier than anybody else and following it, you know.
All right. Well, on that note, follow your passions and check out Rocky's discussion with Dr. Paul Nation on the same channel.
Oh,
Thanks. Enjoy the conference and the conversation.
thank you, Jeff. Bye.